Namaste, y'all. It's Timothy the Tiger. I hope y'all have been doing great. I am an evangelist, which means a messenger of the great news of our King Jesus Christ. He personally has helped me heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now it is part of my dharma, part of my purpose here on earth to make these YouTube videos to hopefully inspire y'all to enter into a relationship with him. Today, I have an interesting video. It's called "The Modern Woman is Narcissistic." Now, off the bat, this is not a men versus women type of thing. Obviously, the modern man is narcissistic too. Okay, I'm not trying to do this like men are better than women. I'm not interested in that. My channels are mainly dedicated to men because I started this channel because of my pornography addiction, and mostly men are addicted to pornography. Yes, some women, but it's majority men. And so a majority of my videos are catered to men, and this video is sort of dating advice, and it's dating advice for men, and it's more of a warning being like, hey, the modern woman is narcissistic. So this is not an attack on women. This is just more of an observation from my point of view and my experience in the dating game, and I'm simply making a video to help y'all. That's it. So hopefully, if you're a woman listening, you can understand where I'm coming from. All right, so the first thing we got is social media. Now, social media came on the scene, like Instagram, what was it, like 2012? Like 13 years ago or something? Prior to social media, what I'm saying is that the social media has been an influence of this modern narcissism within women. Because prior to 13 years ago, there pretty much was no Instagram, and women are being flooded with attention and the private messages, like all that stuff. I'm not on social media. Other than this YouTube channel, I'm not on social media. But there has been a change in women because of social media. And I would say it's majority women that receive the attention. Like, I mean, let's say, like, if you get an 18-year-old beautiful woman in a bikini on Instagram, she's going to be very, 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 very popular. But if you take an 18-year-old male, and we'll say he's beautiful too, he's probably not going to be as popular as that beautiful 18-year-old woman. And it's just something that younger women are very desired after. And when an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old, they get on social media, they get a lot of attention. And I think it can get to their head. It can lead to narcissism, to thinking that, hopefully you know where I'm getting at with this, is that it's just prior to social media, women weren't being flooded with this attention. Yeah, if they were pretty, they were getting a lot of attention in this world, but now they're in this virtual world where they are getting bombarded from men all over the world. Whereas prior to social media, you couldn't get bombarded with attention from men all over the world. This is a new thing in the past decade, past 10, 15 years. And I believe that has been a big influence on why there's an increase in narcissism in women, is because they're just being flooded with attention from numerous men. That wasn't really a thing 10, 15 years ago. And it relates into the dating apps as well. So you get on the dating apps, and again, the women are flooded with likes. They are flooded with attention. And so they feel like they can that men are disposable. And I'm not a big fan of this whole dating app thing, because you swipe left, or you give them an X, just like X them. And it feels inhumane in a way, where you're just like looking at the person, it's like X, 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 like, which means like swipe left, 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 like get out of here, I don't want you. And I feel like that contributes, like just that act of like shifting, like swifting, like sifting through the men. And that goes for the men too, for the men picking the women. Just like Because when I was on the dating app, I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like Xing people. I don't like swipe. Like it's just something about it just doesn't feel loving. And I believe the way the dating apps are designed that it contributes to narcissism. So not only in the sifting process is there this just pretty cruel filtration system where it's almost like these people, it's like treating people that don't have like they don't have feelings, like it's almost, there's almost no compassion in it. And say you are having a conversation with someone, mid conversation they can just delete it, and they disappear. And it's just like, whoa, like no explanation, like, hey, I'm not really feeling this, like it's just like, nah, ghost, done. I mean, of course, that goes for men as well. Like men can do that on the dating apps too. I mean, a lot of these things, they go both ways. But I'm just saying, like that is narcissistic behavior, where you feel like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Like, you could be mid conversation on one of these dating apps, and you're like, oh, I'm not really feeling it, and you just rather than expressing that to the person, being like, hey, like, God bless you on your journey, like but I'm not feeling it. They won't say anything. They just delete the conversation, move on, as if the other person doesn't have any feelings or anything. And it's just like, dude, it's cruel. The dating apps are cruel. And then you have a relatively new thing, OnlyFans, and I put that on there just because, again, in this example, just to support these 2 points, is that majority women are on OnlyFans. I mean, I haven't heard of a guy that's on OnlyFans. I'm sure there are, but it's majority women. And again, I'm just using that as supportive evidence that a majority of women are getting the attention on social media and on dating apps, and very clearly on OnlyFans. So this was just added in here mainly to support my first 2 points, that there seems to be a difference between the virtual world for men and the virtual world for women, and that young, beautiful women are flooded with attention. And what I'm saying is, this flooding of attention is turning women into modern day narcissists, where they have a superiority complex, where they think they're better than others, where they think they're on a pedestal, and it's not good. And this is just my own observation. I would love to hear y'all's opinion in the comment section down below. And so we'll get into this 4th point, the divorce rate. Now, I heard a statistic that somewhere between 80 to 90% of divorces are initiated by the wife, the female. It's even worse in like lesbian relationships, and like ironically, like in an all gay male relationship, it's like something like 25%. Like it's like crazy, the difference. I may be wrong on that part, but I did hear that like in a male female marriage, 80 to 90% of the time, the wife, the female, is initiating the divorce. And also the system is rigged, usually in most cases, to benefit the wife, where she'll get, what is that, like alimony, child support. She'll usually get like the house, the car, like the assets. Like she usually gets most of everything. I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard that kind of stuff, but even the court system is heavily like swayed towards the wife and benefiting the female. And yeah, I think that leads into feminism right down here, and this idea that like there's this inequality, which is silly. I mean, in what ways is there an imbalance? I mean, you look today, and it's like women are heavily favored in our society. I mean, they have certain quotas where it's like you have to hire females, and I mean, you look at the draft, and only men are drafted. It's like only the men have to go off and die. I mean, talk about inequality. You can make an argument that it's unequal for the men. The women don't have to do conscription service. They don't have to go off in a war and die. So if you want to talk about inequality, let's talk about the draft, because women aren't going off and dying in these wars. I mean, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, all those drafts, only men, not the women. I mean, when there's an emergency, like a like a boat is sinking, like the Titanic or an airplane. It's always women and children off first. Men stay on the boat, men stay on the airplane, women and children off first. Because in our society, their lives are more valuable, that the men are more disposable. And feminism is, it's like this psyop where it's just dividing more. And I'm not trying to make a division on this video right now. I'm just making observations. And feminism has turned women into men. It's made them more masculine. And so I have the word here, competition, right here, where they've become more competitive, where when they say like they're a strong, independent boss babe, I'm just saying the modern women acts very manly, not very feminine. And I think that's part of this narcissism thing as well, is that the modern woman is not feminine. The modern woman is masculine. She's manly. And that's just from my observation. That's just from what I noticed. And I just made that video as well, another controversial video where I was just saying the average woman is overweight, the average woman has bad tattoos, and the average woman has a ridiculously high body count. These are just the observations I see on a daily basis, y'all. I'm just noticing. The overweightness and the bad tattoos, that's something you can physically see. I mean, I'm just saying, like, something is wrong in our society where women and men as well, of course, in their 20s and 30s, we should not be majority overweight. Like, I would say the majority, the average male, the average female in their 20s and 30s is overweight. And so when they get into their 40s, 50s, 60s, they're going to become obese. Because, I mean, if we're not healthy in our 20s and 30s, I mean, it's going to go downhill. I know that's not related to feminism, but I was just connecting back to a video that I made a few days ago. But yeah, this whole feminist movement, I really feel like it's a psyop, a psychological operation to just create more division and to get rid of essentially the traditional female, the traditional woman. That's not really a thing nowadays. You have masculine men and you have masculine women. Well, sadly, it seems like a lot of the men are becoming feminine. So we have this weird switching where the men are becoming more feminine and the women are becoming more masculine, and it's just this weird imbalance, and it's just a sign that we're living in the end times. We're living in the last days, and we are witnessing the collapse of civilization. And yeah, I think feminism contributes to this narcissism because now women feel like they need to compete and prove that they're better than men. And it's like, we are complementary. Men and women are complementary. Men are better at some things, women are better at other things. Men are usually better at physical things because we are stronger on average. We have more muscle on average. And I would say women are more psychic. They're more in tune with their emotions. They're more intuitive. And I mean, that's just as important, if not more important. And so we are complementary to each other, like yin and yang. We're not meant to compete with each other and be like, no, men are better. No, women are better. I mean, are we 5 years old? Are we in elementary school? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're supposed to be harmonious. We're supposed to be working together. We're supposed to complement each other. Yin and yang. Right down here, the 6th point, I have fake up, which is what I call makeup. And this is a big red flag and completely connected to narcissism, is women, they put on fake up and they fake their appearance. Like they feel like they have this need where they have to put on a disguise and change their appearance and to look more beautiful. In some ways it's deceptive because you're not really showing your true self. And honestly, across the board, I always find a woman with no makeup, zero makeup, way more attractive than a woman that looks like a clown. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if women have been brainwashed by Hollywood and following celebrities, but I don't get it. I honestly don't get this obsession with putting on fake up because it doesn't, in my opinion, it does not look good. I'm all natural. the way God created us. And if you read the book of Enoch, it says makeup was given to women by the fallen angels, which makes sense and why it contributes to narcissism. And yeah, I mean, it's about just like so superficial about the appearance and this like lack of confidence in yourself that you feel like you need to put on a false appearance to somehow impress others. It's just, and it's across the board. Like almost every woman does it, and I never like it. I never think it looks good. And just because it's not your real self, it's not really who you are. And yeah, it's a bit strange. And you could tie that into all the surgeries as well. I mean, all the Botox or the plastic surgeries and all that stuff as well, like changing the appearance, and all for just trying to impress others, and this like false sense of beauty. And it really is just like it's like a shallowness, a lack of confidence in oneself, that you feel like you need to get all these surgeries and change your appearance, and you just can't accept the way God created you. And yeah, I think it's all tied to narcissism. So the last thing are she demons. This is the spiritual one. And so we have she demons, like succubus. Some of them are known as Jezebel, Delilah, Lilith, and yeah, I think a lot of the modern day women are possessed with demons. And probably the most common one is the Jezebel spirit. There's also the Lilith spirit, and it's a very promiscuous spirit. I mean, it comes from the story of Queen Jezebel, and I mean, she's a classic narcissist, and she's cheating on her husband. She has no respect for her husband. She's always sleeping around. She's a tyrant. I mean, she's a narcissist, and it's a spirit. And I think men and women can get possessed with the Jezebel spirit. And Lilith is they say the wife of Satan, another super dark succubus demoness. And again, I think men and women, but I think predominantly women get the Jezebel and the Lilith spirits, and they get possessed. And when I say like the modern woman is narcissistic, maybe I should say the average modern woman is narcissistic, because I think the outliers are those that have a relationship with our King Jesus Christ, and it's only through him, as far as I know, that he can cast these demons out of you and fill you with the true spirit, the Holy Spirit, Divine Mother. And yeah, I think that's what a lot of these modern women are missing. They're missing the fruits of the Holy Spirit. And I mean, the average man, the average woman all have demons. And I think we could all benefit from deliverance and an exorcism of sorts. And Jesus Christ has the power to do that. And I encourage you to go on YouTube and look some of this stuff up. Look up deliverance videos if you feel like you do have a demon. These deliverance videos on YouTube can help you get demons out. And I think it's a big reason. What is driving this? I think a lot of things in our world are actually driven by the spiritual side of things. And I think a lot of us, I think narcissism is rampant in our society, not just for women, but for men as well. And yeah, I'd love to hear your comments down below, what y'all thought of this video. If you can relate, if you want, give me some critical feedback. I get it. I know I'm singling out women here, but like I said, these videos are mainly catered towards men. And yeah, all right, y'all. Thank you for listening. May God bless all y'all. Namaste.